Tell me your name, please, and how long you were married.
My name's Cynthia Schwarzkopf, and I was married about 5 years.
Why did you choose collaborative divorce?
I've seen what happens when two very adversarial parties combine with two adversarial attorneys, how awful that can be.
Your father was a very famous general, Norman Schwarzkopf. What would he think of collaborative divorce?
My father was very much a let's talk about it, let's employ diplomacy, let's employ a strategy to keep the peace. And war should be the absolute last alternative because of the ugly nature of it.
What was your emotional state at the beginning of this process?
It was awful. I was at a terrible low and had never in my entire life anticipated that I'd even have to be considering divorce. Divorce is nowhere in my family. I was the first. I felt like I was failing.
As the mother of a small child, what was collaborative divorce like?
Having the opportunity to go through a collaborative divorce gave me a much more specific parenting plan. We were able to adopt into our parenting plan that we make an effort every night to have our child contact the other parent to say goodnight. Great for the child, great for my son, and great for me when he's away, just to know that he's getting ready to go to sleep, that he's safe and sound. It gives me a tremendous amount of peace of mind.
As General Schwarzkopf's daughter, was privacy important to you?
Yeah, extremely. I just have a last name that sometimes draws attention or adds a little bit additional scrutiny. I've seen that countless times over the last 20 years of my life, and I didn't want the private nature of my life being exposed publicly in any way. Collaborative divorce gave us an opportunity to do that.
In collaborative divorce, you have a mental health facilitator and a financial expert in the room with you. What was that like?
There's something to be said about sitting around a table together with mediators and advisors in place and being able to communicate to one another. At the end of the day, we were able to shake hands and do it in person and come up with a plan we felt would be effective moving forward and in ending our marriage.
What were some of the drawbacks of collaborative divorce?
When you start in the collaborative process, bringing in additional professionals that are required in the process, like a child advocate and like the financial advisory aspect and multiple attorneys in a room, it can feel very expensive for those particular meetings. But collaborative law is also a process that can just take a couple meetings as a collective and you can be finalized if everyone is on the same page. While the process is generally expensive by nature, depending on where you stand in agreement or disagreement with one another, it can be a whole lot less expensive than a litigation approach. I would have to say that collaborative law ended up being more financially beneficial and you get a whole lot more out of it for what you're paying. Had we gone any other way other than collaborative, I can't tell you that this far out we would be done. So it gives you a chance to kind of move forward with the next phase of your life post-divorce.
What is that next phase of life for you?
Really moving forward for me just means in this new, not so conventional family structure that we have, raising a happy, healthy child. 20 years of business behind me, I have the opportunity now to really focus on that, and that's my #1 goal, and that's where we are.